Everyone, welcome back to Find the Crypto. My name is Chase. Today we're going to do an overview of Bitcoin, looking at the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, then the 1 hour. Start big and then zoom in a little bit and see the more granular moves. So let's do just that. We might also throw in some DXY at the end if you're lucky. So starting off on the weekly Bitcoin, what is the biggest move that we got going on? So, our rally up here, a couple weeks ago, we closed above the MA8, closed above the SMA 200, right? The 200 week, right? Usually, for Bitcoin going all the way back, right? We know that that's kind of the line in the sand for usually support. This is the first time we've been below it. So moving above it for, a week, closing above it for 1 week, and then giving it right back is a very weak sign. It's a sign that, crypto is not quite ready yet to put on his big boy pants. So we're right back down here, and the shift, the mindset should be more bearish than bullish, because that is a big sign of weakness, right? So going with that, where could our rally be if we go up, right? There's no guarantee that we go up much more, but as we zoom in, you'll see that maybe we are going to go up a little bit more. But so if we do rally up this week, where could we potentially go? Could we go back to the 200 week? Yeah, possibly. That's over 23K. Unlikely in my book. I would have all eyes on the EMA 8, right? That's where it's held after we've broken, right? Look at how many candles have closed above the EMA 8 since then, right? So that will likely be the line in the sand. If we go there this week, if we go there next week, if we go there 3 weeks from now, watch the EMA 8 on the weekly. That exact number as of right now is 22,770. Okay, that will decrease if price goes down, and it will remain about the same, go up slightly if we make a big move this week. But that would be kind of the highest peak. If we get up there, right, it's probably in your best interest to, enter a short position if that's what you're into. If you like to swing trade, that would be the place to do it. You usually short into resistance, you buy at support. There's no more support, right? So you should be in a bearish mind frame when you're under all moving averages, certainly under the 200 week. Now, for long term, could we be trying to end the bear market? Sure. Usually that just takes some time, and that's what we're trying to do. So are we guaranteed to go, back to 17 or 18 or 12K or whatever K you and your grandmother think about? Then no, that's not what any professional trader does. You want to always be looking at the price. The price will tell you the news. Okay. So having said that, um, let's zoom in a little bit and see what else we can decipher. Right. So let's put it on auto. Get you a little bit bigger picture here. So here's our 100-day moving average, right? You can see that the upper Bollinger Band is there right now. So if we were to make a spring move up there, that would be kind of the macro top. That's as of today. This will decrease so day over day. I obviously don't foresee that happening anytime real soon. Certainly not today. But you can see us falling greatly outside of the bottom of the Bollinger Bands here, which usually is a sign of not weakness, but it's also prices are really too low. 95% of your price action is going to happen inside the Bollinger Band. So when you're that extreme outside on the daily, you're not going to last long without coming back in and at least going sideways, which it seems like what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, right? We're at the same prices we were at 3 days ago. So again, watch your EMA 8 on the daily chart. So right now that number is right around 22K. So if we go up there today to 22, that's a pretty good spot. Also, watch your 22, your 21, EMA 21, which is around 22.6, and that has a bigger meaning because not only that, you have your EMA 34 there. You have all your moving averages very close, but the biggest factor here is that the important low that you dropped, that you lost right here, which is why was this candle so big? Everyone had stop losses, all the people that day trade and the pro traders, right? Your stop loss is here. So that triggers waterfall effects in the computers all around the world. When those happen, it's not that people are selling all the way down here. That can cause cascade effects. And there you go, right? So we lost that low. So any kind of rebound, a pullback, where we go back to that level, that's the level to watch. So if we get up there today, tomorrow, 3 days from now, whatever day from now, you can do what you want, but I will be opening a short position probably a little bit before you. So that's the level I'd be watching right now. 22, for a bigger move, right? Look at the 21, it's right there. It'll probably be somewhere similar to there. Not saying we can't wake up a little bit higher, but a daily candle closing above that line, 22.6, unlikely based on TA. So there you go on the daily chart. Watch your moving averages there. Let's zoom in a little bit more to see what else we can come up with. Okay, let's remove the daily drawings. Okay, now look at what we got here. The Bollinger Bands, look how wide they were, and now look how wide they aren't. So lower volatility on Bollinger Bands should tell you two things. One, price ain't going anywhere except for when it does, right? That might sound retarded, but um, when you have lower volatility and squeezing Bollinger Bands, there's a big move coming. So on the 4 hour, where are we going to see? Well, if you want it to go up, right, or it doesn't matter what you want, it's gonna go up. If you want it to go down, well, you have to have your price action, the odds. That's all you have in crypto is to play the odds, right? There's nothing else. No one has a crystal ball here. But if your price action is in the top half of these Bollinger Bands, and what I mean by half, if you're new, see this median line? That is the 20 SMA, right? This is the 21 EMA, but the Bollinger Band, the kind of the median line is kind of the bullish, more bearish. If the mouth starts to open here in the next, handful of hours, this could take another few days. It could take another 30 minutes. But if the price starts to move up, and this bottom line, it's important that you want your bottom line to open. If it stays still, that's not a power move, right? If it goes like this, nothing big is coming. If this starts to open and you want and that starts to open, then you can get these kind of powerful explosive moves shooting that way. However, if we stay kind of relatively shut and we go up and the bottom line is still staying straight, could be a fake out. You want to watch for that because then you get kind of these kind of moves, and then the mouth starts to open and you think we're going long, and then kaput. Kaput. Is that a word? I think it's a kaput. My mom used it, so we're going with that. So something big is brewing, up or down. Just watch your Bollinger Bands on the 4 hour. If you want an even, look at all these moving averages too. So if you're below a bunch of moving averages on any time frame, your immediate bias should be bearish. If you're above all the moving averages on any time frame, your immediate bias should be bullish, right? So that's just how it should work instantly, and then you can do your detective work. But to look at a chart, pull up your moving averages wherever your price is. If you're well under your moving averages, you should immediately be cautious, right? Buying should be you should have a damn good reason to buy on when you're under your moving averages. More likely, you're looking to open a short. So you want to look at where it rejects from. So back in here, right, we held the EMA 8. Now on our rallies, it seems like we're now starting to reject off of the 21, and still no closing candles above the 21, but we are on the verge of that. So if we start to close above the 21 EMA on the 4 hour, then the odds are increasing of us continuing this little move, however little it might be. So let's zoom in a little bit more for those 4 of you that are still with me. Good job. You're trying to learn something. So now what do we have going on now? Well, now we have different moving averages, but still the 100 hour moving average, if you will, right? The 100 EMA still holding resistance. So we're looking for a kind of a breakout of that 21.5, 21.6 level. Closing candle on the hour or the 4 hour above like 21.6. And that's a good sign that the move will continue up. However, there's some warning signs even on the hourly. What is it? Well, we just talked about. Look at the Bollinger Bands, right? This almost looks like an Etch-a-Sketch, right? Someone just like painted this on there. This is not a power move out of the Bollinger Bands. So we're continuing up, but it's almost kind of like an ascending channel here, which usually are bearish, right? You have this move up. What you'd want is more of a bull flag, which would go down and then break to the upside. This is actually scooting up, and more times than not, it will actually break to the downside. Not only that, but when we look at the Bollinger Bands, right, this is a weak up move because it's following this channel. It can continue up, but it's certainly not a power move even on the hourly chart. But we do have these kind of three white soldier pattern here, so that's why we're kind of probably trying to continue up. So watch for that. If we start to look at all the moving averages, right? Dead giveaway. If you close under those moving averages, guess where your odds are? We're going down, right? You have all this thick safety net. If you make a power move down and close under here, you can bet that you're more often than not, 9 times out of 10, you're coming down this way. If you close under, a conglomerate of moving averages. So watch for that on the hourly, the 4 hour. They can give you a lot of information on what's to come, even if you're not used to it, right? So focusing on the bigger picture, there's the daily chart. Again, watch that, summarize it up. Rejection off of the 8 EMA right around 22K. Probably where I would be playing a short or at best case rally up to that 21 EMA over the next couple days or so. What's going on today? Well, the DXY has stutter stepped just briefly as we see a breakout to 20 plus years highs. Are we going to continue? Well, some people might say that's a double top, but double tops only play out about 30% of the time. More often than not, the double tops do not work out, and this whatever trend that you're in tends to continue. So the uptrend is more likely to continue than not. But why are we having this hesitation? I'm glad you asked. For the three of you that are now here, the other guy left. This morning, let's go back to the actual this morning, Tuesday. Right, we talked about this in our Telegram. Join Telegram group if you want. A lot of other stuff, daily updates in there. If I'm not updating on YouTube, I'm always updating there. So we had 9:45, the flash services PMI turn out much worse than forecasted. Right, as you see right there. Last month, right, we projected a higher number. It not only was not higher, but it was much lower. So that's what shook the DXY a little bit, the dollar stutter step. So if we need the DXY to crash and burn like we do for crypto to enter euphoria bull market, we need many of these things to start to happen, right? We don't need one event, right? One event gets us that little candle. 10 events might get us, the bigger downwards movement that we need. But until that slows down and starts putting in lower highs, lower lows, crypto is going nowhere very bigly, but U.S. dollar remains pretty strong. We need to be closing, daily, weekly, right? Weekly is where you got to focus, and we're just well away from the 21. Until we close multiple weeks under the 21, it's just going to be too hard to, get in that long-term bull market mindset for Bitcoin. DXY is really going to have to show some big signs of weakness, and so far, since way back yonder, over a year, right? May 2021 is when it started, right? Been looking pretty damn strong since May of 2021. And what happened in May of 2021? Well, hopefully you realize that was one of the biggest crashes we've had in a substantial amount of time in Bitcoin. So that's enough of me yapping. I need to get some water for my mouth turns to dust. Let's do quote of the day. For the two of you that are now here, applaud you. People are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them. What the hell does that mean? Nothing in the world is good or bad, but your thinking makes it that way. So everyone that thinks, there's so much evil in the world, guess what? That happened inside their head, right? Doesn't mean there's evil in the world. There's a lot of good in the world. Whatever you look for is what you're going to find. So, great quote. It can be interpreted, it has been interpreted in many ways, but everything in your life, whether it makes you happy or sad, it's happening in there. So, fix that. Let's see what else we got. Do we have a car of the day? Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. Pretty amazing, Aston Martin, looking Porsche-esque with the taillights, I should say. The new 911 goes all the way across like that. I'm not a fan for people taking other people's designs. I don't know who took who. What do you think? Do you think they borrowed it, or do you think they're, I don't know. For the one of you now, here's the front end. There you go. Pretty nice looking. I don't know for $250,000 if I could do it. I don't know if it looks supercar enough for 300 grand. What do you think? It's very nice, but 300K, I got a list of cars I'd rather have for 300K. But pretty nice. Look, great colors. Comes in all varieties as is all cars. I don't know what I'm saying. That's it. Hopefully you learned something today. For the one of you that is still watching, I applaud you. I'll give you this car someday. Just keep waiting. Maybe in a Hot Wheels. It's more likely.